Yes, a very good afternoon to all of you, and a very warm welcome to the lectures on the subject of the business communication. Right, so now that all of you have selected the commerce field for your education, for your higher studies, for your further education, and you would be getting more and more used to the terminology related to commerce and accounts, finance, balance sheet, profit and loss, and then debit, credit, and balance sheet, trial balance, and all those terms. You might be also learning regarding economics and regarding secretarial practice, right? Information technology, some special languages also. So along with all of that, very important for you to be an effective leader, an effective manager, an effective business person, depending upon whatever you decide to do in the future, is very important for us to have the very effective, very appropriate communication skills, right? So we need to keep on fine tuning the communication process. We have some opportunities in school days wherein we take part in some inter-house debate, or there is some elocution going on, or there is some annual day, or you are the do you do the hosting of a particular program in your school, or so in your family if there is any function or any other, you have to give a speech, you have to introduce a chief guest. So many these I'm talking about more of the formal modes of communication. Apart from that, you also have a word with your friends, you have a discussion with your family members, right? You day in and day out, it's like the every moment we breathe is every moment we communicate. And so every time, even when you are you've fallen asleep, right? When you are sleeping, even when you are sleeping, you're communicating. In case if yes, you are sleeping very peacefully, that says that, you are absolutely, in a fine state of mind right now. But in your sleep also, say you're snoring, or you're, continuously keeping on moving. So that again, it communicates regarding, physically or mentally something is not right, or, probably you want the fan to be switched on, or you want the fan to be switched off, the temperature you're not able to adjust, whichever. And when you're eating, so if I eat very very fast, then it immediately, nobody needs to say anything. Even just by looking that I'm eating very very fast, they come to know that I'm in a hurry. Or in case if I'm eating, like, making faces like, I'm not liking it, but then I'm hungry, so I need to eat it. So even looking at my facial expressions probably would come to know that I'm not liking the taste of the food, or not enjoying the food, but still I am managing, and still I am managing to eat it. And students, I think in your context I can give more examples of when you don't wish to study, but your parents compel you to study, so then that is the expressions on your face, they say it all. Right, so we are going to talk about the different types of communication, regarding how you could be effective in your communication, why instead of communication sometimes there is a miscommunication, a misunderstanding, or something which we also call it as the communication gap which takes place. Right, so just to begin with, today I will just we'll go through your entire syllabus for the subject of business communication, right, and start looking into the chapter 1, right, the unit 1 over there. Okay, right, so first, yes, we look into your syllabus for the subject of the business communication. Right, so you have the unit 1, which is regarding the introduction to the business communication. So this particular chapter itself is a hardcore 100% theoretical, theory chapter. Right, there is no practical. Like from next chapter onwards, we talk about the drafting of the various business letters and the different situations, circumstances in which you are required to draft a business letter in the course of business. We start talking about that, but before that, first we set the tone for the subject. We understand this entire matter regarding communication. Ki boss, what is ek matlab, just on that one concept of communication, there is a subject created. Means there should be something very very significant and important, related lot of importance to that particular subject. And in MBAs also you have specialization in communication. Nowadays we talk a lot about the mass media communication. We say that, mass media, digital media, electronic media being used for the communication, and plus you have the traditional sources for communication as well. And say pre-COVID you used to have the face-to-face meetings, and now every other day every other person is talking about a Zoom meeting. And they've got some particular link of some particular Zoom meeting, either it is class or even friends meeting, and even friends birthday party, even those are being celebrated, were being celebrated on Zoom during this COVID times. And so now I think the world, like we used to study in history, the AD and the BC, the time domain in which events used to take place, and we used to say 1500 BC or say some 1800 AD, those type, right? So I think now we can divide the world into two parts, into two time phrases, one pre-COVID and post-COVID. And okay, pre-COVID, we remember that only due to pollution in Delhi, people used to wear masks, or only the doctors while doing an operation or some particular surgical, chemical people dealing in chemicals, they used to be wearing the mask. Now, if any citizen of the country, any person in the world is not wearing a mask, they have different fines. And if the number of COVID cases going up, then fine is say 1500, 1000. Normally it is 500 rupees. If they find that you're not wearing the mask, or they find that you're wearing the mask, but you're wearing it not on your, it's not covering your nose, or you've just kept it as a showpiece on your chin, like keeping it over here. Okay, right. So let's now talk about what is there in our syllabus over there. So one, we have the unit 1, the introduction to the business communication. Right. So what is communication, the meaning, the importance, okay, why it is communicate and why it is important to communicate in a manner that the opposite person understands regarding what you want to communicate. Right. So then how this communication process takes place. Right, so how you send a message and what that other person understands of the message. So what is the message being sent, how it is being sent, right? So the entire communication process, then I check with that other person that have you understood what I am telling about, you understood what I am telling, that type, right? So that completes the communication process when I get the feedback from the receiver. Right, so we'll talk about the communication process. Then principles of effective communication. They say, oh my God, you're so effective in your communication. So always they pick you up, they say, no, you student, you get up, you do the communication, and you go and tell the teacher, you go and talk to the principal, you go and talk to the dean of the university, you tell mother about this, you tell father about this. So everything. Why? Because you're very effective in your communication. Right, so how to bring that effectiveness in the communication, that power, that that punch in your communication, what are like the some rules which you can apply, some secrets which can be used over there, right? So the principles of effective communication, not ineffective communication. And sometimes if you listen to some particular speech or something, you get the best sleep of your life, and you like no anesthesia, no medicine can do that wonder on you what that particular speech has done to you. And then all of a sudden you say, oh yes, I'm listening to some class or something. And so obviously it should not be that effective a communication that somebody falls asleep, because that's not the purpose of communication, to make somebody falls asleep. Your message has to be communicated. Right, so the principles of effective communication, not only communication, they say communicate, anybody can do that, but effective communication is what is expected over here. Right, then we talk about the types of communication, right? So we have the verbal, the non-verbal, the visual communication, the formal, the informal communication, right? So different types of communication, right? So the media, oral, written, verbal, non-verbal, visual, right? So the different types of communication. Then we have that I am trying to tell you, but you are not understanding only. I'm explaining it to you so many times, but I don't know, you're not trying, you're not able to understand only. So obviously if I am trying to tell you and you are not able to understand, means there is some barrier in the communication, right? There is some communication gap, right? So now it says what all could be the possible different barriers to communication, when a barricade, because of which is stopping you from communicating effectively. right? So it could be one barrier, it could be more than one barrier which could be affecting a particular communication, right? So the barriers to communication, and now that you've identified, okay boss, this is the barrier, and this is the barrier to the communication. So now how to overcome that barrier, right? So guidelines to overcome the barriers to the effective communication, right? So this is your unit 1, right? The chapter 1, what we could call it as, right? Then that is after the theory part is over, then we start with the unit 2, which is regarding the business letters, right? So now we are, so business letters nowadays, it is more converted into the business mails. And though there are business letters also being used, but I could say business letters sent electronically, and rather than the, what you say now, either in the mails you have as to and CC and BCC, and you mark the mail to some particular persons or so, right? So we have the business letters being sent over there, right? So one, the business letters. So it says, why a business letter? Right, so say for your office you want to purchase the air conditioners. So now you want to write a letter to make an inquiry, right, regarding what are the different varieties, what are the different variants of the air conditioners, and what are the options and the models available, and what is the best price you could be getting for the same. Right, so say or you want to apply for a job somewhere, right? So, or you want to say apply for a particular audit, you want to apply for a particular work, right? So that would again be a business letter, right? Something something related to the conduct of your office work, right? So kinds of business letters, right? So we have letters of complaint. You purchased a new juicer, grinder, mixer, and now it is not working only. Right, so now you want to write a letter to that particular company from where you purchased that particular mixer, grinder, right? So letters of complaint, then also reply. So from that company side, they have to reply to the letter of complaint also, no? Right, they have to reply to that letter of complaint also, right? So we talk about the different types of business letters over there, right? So first, before looking into the particular that how to type a letter, what contents to be written in a letter of complaint or a letter of inquiry or quotation or tender, first we study the general format of the business letter. The contents, what you say in don't know, like in Hindi they call it as the dhacha, and the mold. Yes, I could call it as the mold, of the business letter. Right, so we have the heading, the date line, the inside address, the attention line, opening salutation, body, then the subject line, message, complimentary closing, we say yours faithfully, yours sincerely, right? Then the signature, references, enclosure, notation, postscript, spacing, and the punctuation style. Right, so this is what we are going to study. Again, the mold, the format of the business letter. Right, so one, the needs and functions of a business letter, what are the kinds of the business letter, and then the mold. And the format of the business letter is what is there in our discussion of the unit 2. Right, once we know the format of the business letter, now we will start doing the correspondence. Right, so already in the unit 2 we have studied regarding the kinds of business letter. Right, so now we are going to be starting to drafting those different types of business letters once that we know the format. Right, so request for quotation, tender, drafting letters of inquiry, reply, order letter, execution, cancellation of order. So say now you've decided to place order for 20 ACs and air conditioners for your office, right? So order letters, execution, or cancel. You found a better deal somewhere, so whatever order you had placed with this one particular dealer, now you want to cancel that order, so writing a letter for the same. Right, so cancellation of orders, then the drafting of the sales letter. Right, so some particular your company has come up with a new, a software or a particular app, which is an alternative to Zoom app, say example, and now you want to promote that particular app. Yes, say you've developed a new software, yes, but it is a paid service, it's not a free service. Right, so you draft the sales letter for the same, and drafting of the sales letter for the same. All right, say your company has manufactured different varieties of masks, and a different masks they have manufactured over there, or they say that we provide the options of customizable, customized mask. Right, so your name could be written over there, or anything what you want to be written, printed on the mask, different colors, different texture, different material, all that they can prepare. Yes, they can make the mask for you. Right, so now this product they want to promote, and so drafting of the sales letter. right? Circular letters telling people about the new product, or telling people about that there is a sale now up to 40% off, up to 30% off, or there is some promotion campaign which is going on. So circular letters. Then customer dues, say goods have been sold on credit to the customers and now the dues are to be recovered, please give back the money, give back rather, we've sold the goods to you on credit and now we had told you that we had given you a credit period of 90 days, so now please repay, pay the amount to us, right? So customer dues, right? Then the complaints and the follow up letter, right? So that is regarding the different types. We've already studied we studied the kinds of business letter in the unit 2. Now we actually do the drafting of the different types of the letters in the unit 3. Right, then again unit 4 is regarding the letters only, but now it is specifically regarding the letters which are being sent, where there is correspondence taking place between the entity, between the company, between the business unit and the bank, and also the insurance companies. Right, so you want to open a bank account, you want to close a bank account, you want to renew the cash credit, overdraft facility, any such, any correspondence with the bank. Right, drafting of that correspondence is one part of the unit 4. Right, correspondence with the banks regarding overdraft, cash credit, statement of account. Right, so you want your statement of account from 1st of April to 31st of March for tax purposes. Right, so making an application to the bank that I request you to please send me a statement of account on my registered email ID. Right, so such type of correspondence with the bank. So one part of unit 4 is the correspondence with the bank, and the second part of the unit 4 is regarding the correspondence with the insurance company. Right, the correspondence with the insurance company. Right, so you want to inquire regarding a particular policy. Say you have all the inventory in your company, fixed assets in your company, cash in your company, and now you want to insure that, and you want to take an insurance policy. Right, say for your inventory you want to take a fire insurance policy or so. Right, so correspondence with insurance company regarding payment of premium. Right, so you have now considered the various policies and decided to take one particular insurance policy and pay the premium for the same. Right, so payment of premium. So say you took a fire insurance policy for your inventory and now actually some fire occurred in the company premises. Right, so now you need to make an application for the claim from the insurance company. Right, so claims and also their settlement. Right, so insurance company, they will send a surveyor to do the valuation of the loss. Oh my god, how much inventory was there? 200 crore. How much of it has been burnt? They say full 100 crore, 200 crore inventory gone. So how much was the policy which you had taken, then how much money you will receive from the insurance company, how much is the salvage value of any goods which are remaining or so. Right, so settlement, and also the renewal of the policy, because most of the times in case of insurance company, apart from any travel insurance or so, they have 1-year policies, and even for your two-wheeler you would have taken a 1-year policy. Right, so the renewal of the policies. Right, so what something special which is required for this unit 4 is that you should be aware of the terminology, of the terms. Like if you don't understand the meaning of overdraft, you don't understand the meaning of the cash credit, or you don't understand the meaning of claims in case of insurance company, then you cannot write a letter, then you cannot draft such type of business letters. And so you have to be familiar. You have to first ensure that you have an understanding regarding the matter for which you need to write a business letter. And then drafting, so anyways we know the format, we know the mode, so we can do the writing accordingly. Okay, right, so that is the unit 4. And then last one over there we have the unit 5, right, which talks about the preparing the agenda. Right, so say there is the the board of directors meeting, the management, and the management of the company is going to meet, right, the shareholders, the annual general meeting of the company is there or so. Right, so preparing the agenda. Okay, what all are we going to be discussing in this particular meeting? Right, then at the meeting whatever is being discussed based on the agenda, so now to keep a record, okay, this was discussed at the meeting, this was what was decided, this was what was resolved at the meeting. After the meeting takes place, you prepare the minutes of the meeting. So before the meeting takes place, you prepare the agenda. Okay, what all is to be discussed at the meeting. And once the meeting has taken place, then you prepare the minutes of the meeting. Right, so they talk about the agenda and the minutes. Right, then they also talk about the pressy writing. Pressy writing is writing in a particular brief manner. And a brief, you have a 2-page document, and that 2-page document you convert it, say, into 200 words or so. Right, so pressy writing. And we also have the business reports. And a different, it could be a product report, sales report, performance report, right? So the different, you did some market research, and it could be a report based on that. Right, so that is the unit 5, conduct of the meeting, resolutions being passed, minutes of the meeting, right? So agenda and minutes. Then you have the pressy writing. So what's the meaning? What are the need and the golden rules? They say golden, not silver, not copper, not aluminium, no steel. They say golden rules for writing a good pressy. And so how do you write a good pressy? Right? Then you have the report writing. Right? So the importance of reports. You might have all these years got your school report, no? Right? So importance. So you also get your blood test ka report. And even that's a report. You get a weather report regarding how the weather has been or so. Right, so importance of report. What are the special features of a report? But obviously here we are not talking about your progress card, or we are not talking about the blood test report. But I'm telling you that's also a report only, where they report. And okay, this is what it is. And a report, okay, this is the reality. This is what it is. Okay, right, so the special features of a report, organization of a report, right? So now how do you start with a report? What contents you put? How do you conclude with a report? Right, then it could be a short and a long report, different kinds of report, right? You have the business report, the market report, and the press report, right? So looks quite a lot, right? So I'm sure you are convinced by now that you are going to have a wonderful time studying this particular subject, and very interesting. Again, once you develop the knack regarding how these letters are to be written and how these reports are to be prepared and what are the golden rules for writing a pressy. Obviously all this drafting part, it comes only after we complete with the discussion on the theory part, which is there in the unit 1. Right. So nicely they have said over there, okay, what is the course objective? It says the objective of this course, this business communication course, is to develop effective business communication skills among the students. Right, so we hope we are able to achieve this course objective which has been put over there, and people around you actually notice, oh my God, what miracle, what magic, actually your business communication skills have improved and your overall communication skills have also improved. And then obviously when they improve, automatically there is a boost in your confidence. And then you don't need to look down when you're talking with anybody. You can just look straight into the eye. Obviously not stare into the eye, but look straight into the eye in a confident manner, and you can communicate with any person. And you can communicate whether it's a world leader or whether it is a a clerical person or so, any person across the organization and at any level. And so you say, I'm not scared, and I have no fear, in communicating. Whether I need to talk with the, I need to present a paper in front of the Prime Minister of the country, or whether I need to communicate to one particular clerk regarding what is the work to be done by him. I know that how to set a rapport. And a very important, for effective communication is that you have to take that other person into confidence, and then you should be putting your point across. Right? So for that, what we need to do, we need to build a rapport with that opposite person. And we have to set the tone right and then communicate. You've not understood what emotions, that other person is going through, what is in his mind, is he listening to you or not? And you start telling, no, but I wanted to tell you, this is the matter, and then this is what is to be done. No, he is like absolutely not in a mental state of mind to listen to you. So there is lot of noise of the vehicles and the horns of the car and all coming. There are lots of dogs barking on the street, and now even though if he wants to listen to you, he won't be able to listen to you. And even though if he is willing, so there could be these different barriers to communication. And so first we have to check the wavelength, and it's like in the on the what you say, when you put on the radio, the FM, 98.3, 93.5, 91.1, and first what you have to do, you have to set the frequency, and you have to either tap the button over there, or you need to move that like a regulator, you need to move it around, and until the time it doesn't catch the frequency, some Brahmari type of noise, some pranayam type of noise comes out over there. And then after that little bit you find that hey, it's coming. You move it and little bit you hear a sound. And then you say, oh yes, now the communication, now I'll be able to hear it. And then you adjust it a little, and then you are able to listen to the latest song or whatever the ad or whatever the discussion those radio jockeys are having with the people, and through the radio channel, right? So unless and until that tone, that rapport has been set, that frequency has been set, can you listen to the radio channel? No. So similarly, for you to ensure that the opposite person is listening to you and is understanding what I'm trying to tell, first what you need to do, you need to set the frequency, you need to set the rapport, you need to set the tone, and you have to first ensure that you are at the same pace. And then after that you communicate. Then after that you communicate, right? So all good. Let's start learning how to communicate, right? So let's begin with the first chapter over there. That is the introduction to the business communication, right? So all this, it has been taken on the basis of this particular syllabus, which is there for your exams, right? So the first chapter which we have over there is regarding the introduction to the business communication, right? So this is all these topics which we are going to be covering in this particular chapter, right? So now coming to the first one over there, which is regarding the meaning of communication, and a meaning of communication, right? So do you think that we need to communicate? Yes, what do you want to communicate? Like right now, to be to take a very real life example, when I'm teaching you the subject of communication, to teach you the subject on communication, am I not communicating with you? To teach you how to communicate, I am communicating with you. And not teach you, I know you already know, but to teach you what is there in the subject of your business communication, I am communicating with you. Right, so I am communicating my ideas, my thoughts, whatever I think, regarding what would make you an effective communicator. Yet I'm trying to convey the message to you. And so I'm communicating. Right, so you taste the food and you say, oh my God, it's very spicy. So you're communicating that you're finding the food to be very spicy. And then you drink water and then you say, oh, the water is very cold. The water, the tea is very hot. So what are you doing? You are communicating. And you see somebody, you are driving your two-wheeler and then all of a sudden, you put the brake of your vehicle. So why? Because you see all of a sudden some other vehicle has come in between, or all of a sudden some elderly person is crossing the street, or some cat has come, or some dog, or some cow, or some animal, right? So now again, the moment you put your brake and say the person sitting behind you gets a jerk. So now what you communicate over there? Danger. That if you had to say there is some danger ahead, and if you would have not applied the brakes immediately, yes, probably some accident would have taken place. Some accident would have taken place, right? So even based on your action, you are communicating, right? So you did not say anything over there, but you communicated, just by your actions over there, right? Say you happen to, just pick up a particular vessel or so, and then you thought that probably it is at room temperature, and then you happen to touch that particular vessel with your bare hands, and then it was extremely hot. So now automatically it is like subconsciously, unknowingly, and ouch, and that expression will come. Because obviously you would have burnt, you could have felt the extreme heat on that particular vessel on your hand, right? So then immediately everybody at home who is there around, they say, oh, what happened? Then you say, no, the vessel was very hot, I just burnt my fingers. So are you realizing that, I said as simple as that, that every time we breathe is every time we communicate. So it is throughout, yes, that we are been communicating, right? We have been communicating. Right, so communication is the process by which people send messages, right? So these politicians, when these elections are to be elections are approaching near, okay, they send messages to the people. No, most, what is the attraction point to win the votes is like, okay, water supply and electricity supply, and okay, water supply, electricity supply, then ration and all, and then they will make all the commitments that, you just select me as the leader and your life will be so amazing and all. And so what is it? It's a process by which people send messages, right? So they are sending messages or exchanging ideas. And so you exchange your ideas regarding now how this COVID-19 and how the vaccine and how effective it is going to be, and when this face-to-face classes will start, and when I'll start going to college again, or is it just going to be all remote education now? And we're always studying just in front of computer system. So at least I remember, like earlier we required to use more of the computers when you join office or something like that, and then you are not safe from the use of computer. Then whatever is your number of working hours, and you have to use the you have to use the computer for those many hours. But before that, for education as such, no computer was required. Well, maybe a projector or something put in the class for showing a PowerPoint presentation, that was fair enough. But otherwise, we had our all, the teacher right in front of us, physically present in front of us, and all the no concept of an e-book or any such thing. All the hard books, the physical copies of the book and the registers and writing and all of that. Okay, right? So exchange ideas and also the thoughts. And so you explain your thoughts to the opposite person regarding why you are feeling so nervous about your exams, or why you are so confused, whether you should have selected commerce or you should have selected science, and after selecting commerce, whether you should do the MBA, Masters in Business Administration, or whether you should go for chartered accountancy or company secretary or cost accountancy, or for LLB, that is advocate. And so you're just communicating your thoughts. You're saying, in my family everybody is a doctor, but I want to become chartered accountant, or everybody is a doctor, so I also want to become a doctor. Or you say, I just want to become a musician, and I just want to be a painter. So it could be any, and it's just your thoughts, which you want to communicate, right, with one another in a verbal. So either I say it in a verbal manner, either I say it or I write it. Either I say it or I write it. It could be written communication, or it could be the oral communication, or a non-verbal manner. In a non-verbal manner, I don't say anything, and that mainly happens when yes, you would have experienced this with the elderly and the family. Okay, so you say that, you require some more money to spend, or you'll be late, you're going out somewhere with your friends. Okay, so now they don't need to say anything. Okay, the way, way they look at, the way you look at their eyes itself. Okay, and now you understand without they saying a word that they are not happy about you going out with your friends, they are not happy about that. And you are saying that you don't want to do chartered accountancy, and you want to become a musician, you want to become a painter, you want to become a photographer. They don't need to say anything. Just by looking at those elderly people, and you understand, okay, they are not very much appreciating or acknowledging or accepting my views. So it could be verbal, or it could be non-verbal communication. And what we'll see later, that verbal communication, it just constitutes 7% of the total communication. So whatever I'm saying, that is just amounting to 7% of all the communication that I'm trying to have with you right now. Remaining 93% is all coming from the non-verbal communication. Can you believe it? Out of whatever I'm saying, whatever words I'm using right now, that is just 7% of the communication. And now, the remaining 93% is the non-verbal communication. And non-verbal, what I'm not saying. And then what I'm not saying, then what is that 93%? Obviously, we'll see as we proceed further in the chapter. And then the verbal and the non-verbal communication. Right. So the word communication is derived from the Latin word. So most of these words come from the Greek or the Latin only. And many words, many English words, if you try to search their origin, it is from Greek and Latin only. From the Latin word communis, and we also know something called as community, no? And we talk about the social welfare community or so. Right? So community, communis, right, means to share ideas, concepts, feelings, and emotions. Right? So sharing. And a sharing of what? Ideas, feelings, concepts, and emotions. Right? So explaining, your teacher explains you a particular concept in the class, say, say the bills of exchange and a negotiable instruments act. They explain you the partnership act, they explain you the contract act, and they explain you what is trial balance, what is the balance sheet, what is profit and loss account, what is journal voucher, what is ledger. What are they doing? They are explaining you the concept. And they are explaining you the concept. Right? Or you have an idea regarding how the event should be conducted, how your birthday party of your friend, how you should plan a surprise birthday party for your friend. You have an idea. You say that, we will create a group and then we'll not inform him, and just one of the friend will tell him that, I have some work, so please you come with me, and then all we friends will reach there and give a surprise. So that's an idea which you have. So you're sharing your idea, just sharing the concepts, sharing your feelings. No, today I'm not feeling very well, that I saw that particular movie and it was so depressing. It was talking about all the wars and how the corruption is there in the economy and how these politicians, how they are not running the country properly. Very depressing, I'm not feeling good seeing that particular movie. Or you see another movie and that's like a superhero movie, in one slap and 10 people in front of the hero, they fall down, and then all of a sudden, you also, that superhero, that Batman, Spider-Man, all these, that's Avengers and Captain America and all of them, they, they happen to enter into you. And they particularly, you start imagining yourself to be them, super powered or something. And so that's what you feel. Sometimes you listen to a motivational lecture, you listen to some particular, what you say, inspirational lecture, you see some particular video on YouTube, and then you start feeling so motivated. And as you start communicating that, earlier I used to ignore my health a lot, but now after listening to that particular lecture, that how they have been going cycling or biking, on bikes around the country, and how they are doing trekking and all. Now even I have taken, it's my goal for 2021 to become a fitness, or to become very fit or so, pro in fitness or so. So these are all your feelings regarding what you want to do, but you should always be having some thought process, some positive activity going on in your mind, and not always laid back. For you, getting up in the morning and studying and going to college or going to work is an event. If getting up in the morning and going to college or going to work or going for classes is an event, you tell me when you will do what in life, yaar? What you will do then? If these basic requirement and a basic, what you say, existence, if these basic matters of existence are causing a concern to you, then what about doing big things in life? Not possible. And so you should always keep small things small, and then only you could be able to achieve the big things in life. And so you should always be feeling very grounded, very humble, very motivated, very charged up, and very much taking responsibility, and always having a big view, a big vision for your future. And this is the wonderful, perfect, the most, not golden, I will say the diamond, the solitaire time of your life. 17, 18 years of age, and then next 7, 8 years, whatever you churn yourself into, like how the buttermilk, the, what you say, the what do you say, the cream of the milk, how it is churned like this, you know, they churn it, churn it, churn it, churn it, and then the butter is coming out of it, and then they put it in the pan, and then the ghee is made out of it. Okay, so now right now with, you know, the churning, next 7 years, 8 years, you know, your profession will be determined, your skill set, your professional life will be determined. So these 6, 7 years, you know, this 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 years, 6, 7 years mainly of your life are going to determine how you are going to be spending the next 40 years of your life. Okay, now if you in these 6, 7 years, say you decide to become a doctor, so you take your MBBS degree, right? So now next 40 years of your life, you are going to be handling, you know, taking care of patients and taking care of the health of the people. Right, if you decide now, no, I'll become a chartered accountant, so then next 40 years you'll be taking care of the balance sheets and the taxes of the people. Are you understanding, right? So this 6, 7 years is the like the most important phase of the life, because this will determine how the next 40 years of life are going to be spent. Okay, right, so feelings. So I'm saying you should always be feeling very charged and motivated for any task that you have taken up. Right, and also the emotions and emotional management. Nowadays there is so much of, say, you know, small things, and then the tears start coming down like a first standard child or something like that. And any friend, you know, one friend, they don't invite you for the party, or somebody says that, oh, that color is not looking good on you, or somebody says that, oh, you should have done this, and why you are doing this, you're wasting your life. And then, oh, that person said I'm wasting my life, so I am wasting my life. But how you can conclude? And you can't conclude on the basis of that, right? So emotions, and you again communicating and sharing your emotions, and emotional management and emotional quotient is what we are talking about. And people more and more nowadays, they are forgetting also whether they have any emotions or how to communicate emotions also, because the entire time is, you know, taken away. It is all time for every other activity that you had. All that other activities ka time has been taken away, and all that time only one person has become the boss, that is the screen has become the boss. And the screen time, and Netflix over, then Amazon Prime, then Amazon Prime over, then Candy Crush, then Candy Crush over, then you have some PUBG or something, then you have some gaming, and some consoles or something going on over there. Then after that is over, then Facebook, Instagram, and then you have Twitter and LinkedIn. Oh my God! And it is crazy, mind-boggling, absolutely useless. And putting all the garbage, all the content in your mind which you have nothing to do about, and which you have nothing, absolutely nothing to do about, just doing data entry. Okay, you listen to the news, you have some connection with your friends, limited use, how much you make use of salt, while preparing food, and that much use of technology, this all digital media and all these social media and all these channels, well, accepted, that is required now, it is the norm for today. And it required, but all your time, taken away, and all of it being sucked by these particular, these channels over there, very bad, very hazardous. It is more dangerous than any other poison, how it could have been dangerous. And very bad. And the networking, the wiring of the brain is only reducing day by day. Though human beings are more intelligent now. And the evolution of mankind, they are more intelligent, but that intelligence is becoming dumb. And it is not, why? Because it is not being used. And just saying in front of screen, no application of mind required, nothing, only one charger and one data pack required in life, and that's it. And sorted. Next 70 years of your life also you can spend like that. No, not a very good idea to spend life like that. No, very bad idea. Okay, right. So to share ideas, concepts, feelings, emotions. And that is what we are saying, sharing over here. And sharing of all of this, that is communication. Right, so communication is the process of sharing. Now they say exchanging information. Okay. Right, so it's a process of exchanging information, ideas, thoughts, feelings, emotion. How? Through speech. And so on the basis of what you say, signal. So somebody says yes, done, ready. So this is the signal by which I'm saying that it's good. Or I say no, not working. So that's again a signal. And a writing, by writing or by behavior. And somebody comes at you, rings your doorbell, and you don't want that person, that relative of yours to come home. You open the door and you just look back and you go away. My God, how rude! How rude you could have been. Some relative has come at your place, they ring the doorbell, you open the door, you don't even smile, forget smile, you don't even look at them, you just turn and you go back into the house and just keep the door open for them to come. How, what do you say, insulted they would feel. Did you say a word? Nothing. Did you say a word? Nothing. But your action has spoken 100 times louder than your words. Your action has spoken 100 times louder than your words. Or the moment they come, you open the door, there is like, means that there is a surprise and there is a happiness. Oh, uncle, you have come. Oh, brother, oh, sister, oh, auntie, whosoever relative has come, grandfather, grandmother, and you are like, you have no words. You're not saying anything. Your eyes are like wide open and there are tears of happiness coming out of your eyes. Nothing required to be said. It communicates that you are overjoyed with the arrival of that particular relative. And you're overjoyed. Okay, right? So in the process of exchanging information, idea, thoughts, feelings, emotion through speech, signal, writing or behavior. Right, so let us just, prepare a condensed form over there. What does it say? It's a process of exchanging. Part 1, right? Information, idea, thoughts, feelings, emotions, information, idea, thoughts, feelings, emotion. How? Right? How do you communicate all of these? Through speech, through signal, through writing or through behavior. Through speech, through signal, through writing or through behavior. In communication process, right, a sender, right? So obviously there is a sender and there has to be a receiver, and then there has to be a message which is being sent by the sender to the receiver. If I talk about it in more technology terms, could I call the sender as sender and receiver also as the encoder and the decoder? Encoder and the decoder. Right? Or I could also be calling it as the speaker and the listener. So one person is speaking and the other person is listening. Right? And sender, receiver, encoder, decoder, speaker, listener. What is it that we are trying to do? We are trying to send a message, information, idea, thought, feeling, emotion, all that we've written over here. Information, idea, thought, feeling, emotion. Right? So that's the message. Information, thought, feeling, idea, emotion, right? That's the message. And obviously I have to use some medium also for communicating the same. And what could be the medium which I could use for communicating the same? Speech. It could be signal, it could be writing, or it could be the behavior. Right? So I have to use some channel of communication. I have to use some medium of communication. So either I call you, right, or I write a letter to you. So that's a medium of communication. Right, medium. And then whether the receiver, the decoder, the listener, have they understood what I am trying to tell? That for that you need to take the feedback. So feedback comes the opposite way, from the receiver to the sender. Right, so feedback completes the communication process. Like I discuss a particular concept with you. So I am sender, you are receiver. And now I am discussing the concept, say the definition of communication. So that's the message, a concept I am discussing with you. What mode I am using for communicating? Verbal and non-verbal. And I am using my hands also, some actions I am doing with my hand, and I am also speaking. And so that's the medium of communication. And after I finish discussing the concept, I'll ask you, have you understood? Or tell me what you have understood on the basis of whatever I said. And then you tell me, okay ma'am, this is what I have understood on the basis of what you've said. Then I will understand whether you have understood or not. And I'll say, correct, you've understood it absolutely right. Or I say, no, I never said that. You've got it wrong. Let me tell it to you again. Let me tell it to you again. Yes, are you getting an idea regarding this communication thing? Okay, right. So in communication process, the sender, encoder, encodes a message and then uses a medium, channel, है ना. So sender encoder encodes a message, then using a medium channel sends it to the receiver, who decodes the message, and after processing information sends back appropriate feedback reply using a medium or a channel. Right, so what are the important points over there? Sender encoder, number one, right, message being sent through a medium or a channel, receiver decoder, and then you have the feedback or the reply. Right, so sender encoder, message, medium channel, receiver decoder, and then the feedback or the reply. Right, this we will also see it in the process of communication, and the communication process. This is also the communication process, and in communication process. Okay, it's a two-way process. Obviously it cannot be a one-way traffic, it has to be two-way. Right, in which there is an exchange and progression of ideas towards a mutually accepted direction or goal. A communication is supposed to be complete or effective only when the listener responds relevantly and appropriately. And the feedback is a very important element of effective communication. And feedback, without getting a feedback, without ensuring that the receiver, the decoder, has understood what you're trying to communicate, your communication process is never complete. And the communication process is never complete without getting the feedback of the receiver or the decoder. Right, I hope all of you are listening to me. Right, be attentive. Right, next one, the importance of communication. Right, so as simple as when I read this heading of importance of communication, I think it is very important to communicate, otherwise there will be miscommunication. If I don't communicate properly what I want to tell you, then what it might lead to? It might lead to the miscommunication, to a misunderstanding. Right, so communication. Right, so the importance of communication can be gauged by the fact, so it can be supported by the fact that we are communicating in some form or the other almost every moment of our life. So whether we are walking, talking, playing, sitting, sleeping, a message is being formulated and transmitted. And so every moment of our life, it says we are communicating. And every moment of our life, I told you, every time we breathe, we are communicating. Okay, man in the generalist sense is a social animal and is constantly interacting with other individuals. Constantly. When you are interacting, rather when you're trying not to talk to a person, then also you're communicating that I don't want to talk to you. Your friend comes and sits next to you and asks you something. Now you don't reply. You don't say anything. She asks, are you coming for the next class? Are you coming for the birthday party today? And you don't reply. Now you say, I didn't communicate. So you're not communicating itself is a communication. You're not saying anything. You're not replying. It says even that's the communication, because that friend of yours is understood. That means you don't want to talk to me. That means you're not coming for the party. That means you're not liking the fact that that person is coming and talking to you, that you are upset about something. You've not liked something which happened the previous day or the earlier day, or what that person told about you to some other person when you're told not to tell about it. In student life and college life, you're much involved in all of this. First telling something to someone and then telling I told you not to tell, and then that person told that other person, and then it becoming a big story and clarification and annual general meeting and board meetings amongst friends and are held for the same to discuss. And then there is so much of confusion going on amongst those friends, and then between the group of 8-10 friends there are some subgroups which are created, then there is a mediator, then 2 groups are created out of that, then again they join back, and oh my god, apart from studies, this is also one big thing which you need to manage, your peers, your friends over there. Okay, and constantly interacting. It is essential to understand what the beautiful word used over there, the art of communication. So it says it's not only a science, it's also an art. And then every person doesn't have this art. You have to develop it. An art of communication and apply or modify it in a suitable manner. Right? So the art of communication. Right, the ability to communicate is much more than a composition of certain physical attributes, vocal cords and articulators. Right, so not just how I articulate, how I change the tone of my voice, how I increase the tone of my voice or decrease the tone of my voice, or regarding, how I am dressed, or regarding how I am moving my hands when communicating to you. It says it is much more than all of this. So these all are factors, but it says all these put together, it says it amounts to effective communication. It is the ability to symbolize or to understand concepts in terms of images, symbols. So you see somebody wearing a, what do you say, a chain, and in that chain there is a cross pendant over there. Okay, so now without that person saying anything, you understand that this person follows Christianity. And then you see a particular student in your class and she is wearing the black particular burqa. So without, let that person telling you anything, you understand that that person follows the Muslim religion, the Islam religion. You see a particular student is wearing the bindi to the class, is wearing the bangles in the hand or so. You understand that this particular student is following the Hindu religion. And you see that black beads, what you call it as the Mangal Sutra, right? You see that particular black beads around the neck of a woman. You come to know that yes, this woman is married. And it's just on the basis of the symbol, which facilitates the communication, right, in terms of images. And you see a particular, what you say, you're riding your vehicle and you are reached a particular crossroad, and there it is written over there, and there is a sign put over there, something like this. And okay, this way, so further entry is prohibited. Or there is some men in work, and a work in progress, some work is going on, so again they put a sign of danger. And then there is some electricity unit or so, outside that electricity unit they draw a image of a skull, and on the skull there is two hands, two bones which are put crossed like that. And there, that immediately you know that this is a sign of danger. That the skull and the two bones shown over there, or the cross hands shown over there, cross sign shown over there, you know that it is a sign of danger, right? So even in terms of the images, you would have always heard that saying that a picture speaks louder than 1,000 words, and action speaks louder than words, right? So you just look at an image, some scenery, some particular, a fair image, somewhat a village fair or something like that. Looking at that image itself, you understand so many things. Right? So in terms of images or symbols which facilitate the communication. In other words, communication is much more. It says, I told you, verbal is just 7%. It is much more than understanding of the spoken or the written language. It is a composite of symbols, gestures. Gestures. Okay, your friend is going through a tough time, or he's just lost a close family member recently, okay, and now he's that person is in grief right now, because of the loss of the relative. Okay, now you are just sitting next to that person, you don't say anything, and you just pat the, you just say, like this, okay, don't worry. Well, you don't say, but when you tap it like this, you mean to say that don't worry, everything will be fine, cool down. It's yes, try to heal yourself. So I'm not saying anything. I just, some like that. And like sometimes, your mother, she just puts her hand on your head, and then there's nothing required to be said. And it just she putting that hand on your head, or just having that spark in your eyes looking at you, you understand that how much of her life she's living just for you, without saying anything. And the way she cooks the food, and the way the taste and the way she presents, and she gets up at 4 o'clock 5 o'clock in the morning, and you have to go for classes. Before that she gives the tiffin, your breakfast, your lunch, and all your your everything, your milk and everything is kept ready. Not required to express or tell that how much she loves you or how much she takes care of you. It is just said by her actions. It is just simply said by her actions. Right? So gestures and illustrations that accompany either the spoken or the written word. Right? So even your facial expressions, right? Even that could be a way of communication. Right? So it says man is a social animal. Every moment of our life we are communicating, and communication is much more, right, than a composition of these. Right? So that's a question regarding the importance of the communication. Right, then I've already discussed in the earlier definition part itself, right, the communication process, right, so which are the five elements of the communication process. I told you the sender receiver, or you call it as the encoder decoder, or you call it as the speaker listener. And then you have the message, the medium, and the feedback. You know, the message, the medium, and the feedback. Right? So sender, right? You have the sender. Right? So this person, this brain, this mind over there is the sender. This person over here is the receiver. Right, sender and the receiver. Right, so sender encodes the message and sends it to the receiver. So decoding is done. Right, so I try to say A, and if you also understand A, super. But I say A and you understand W, problem. You know, something what happens in the game of damsharas, where you don't speak, but you know some particular person tells you the name of a movie or some particular thing in your ear, and then you have to show it to your team through actions, you know, regarding which name of the movie or which word are they talking about. So we have some signs, no? If I do like this, it means English, and then if I do like this, it means Hindi, then I do like this, that means it has 6 words and 6 alphabets or so. Then if I say like this, and then I try to do the acting of the first word, then I say 1, and then I do like this, so it means the first word elephant. Then first I say, then you say E, okay, E for elephant. So first word is, first alphabet is E, or it starts with E, you know. So now what is it? Sender, receiver, encoder. I am encoding in my mind, okay, when I show it to you like this, you should understand elephant, right? And now I'm showing it to you like this, and you are saying trunk. You are also not wrong, but what I mean is I'm showing E for elephant. What you are trying to understand is T for trunk, and because I am showing the trunk of the elephant, but what I mean to show is the elephant over here. And so now if I show like this and you say E for elephant, then sender, receiver, encoder, decoder, interpretation, feedback, everything right. But I am showing E, elephant, and then you are saying trunk, T, trunk, then you're saying trunk of tree, then you say truck, truck, trunk, trunk, the trunk, then truck, and then trump or something. Then you say no, then you say again, you start doing, then you start doing like this, like this, then you say, oh, speak loudly, speak, you say, then you get irritated, then you say, no, I'm saying like this, ear, and ears of it. So you understand, that is communication process, no? And that is communication process. Are you getting? So I tell you, a debtor, a customer of the company is the person to whom you sell the goods of the company, either on cash or you sell them on credit. And where if it is on cash, you might give him a cash discount, and credit, you give him a credit period and certain number of days. Yes, you give them a time period for repaying, and then he pays the money to you. And that's the concept of a customer. Then you have debtor, then you have trade receivable, then you have accounts receivable, and a different terms. I'm explaining you this accounts terminology. So then I ask you, right, have you understood what you mean by customer, what you mean by debtor, what you mean by accounts receivable? So you say, yes ma'am, a person from whom we purchase the goods is called as debtor, is called as customer. I'll say, come here, let me get a ruler. Is this what I told you? Is this what I told you? Customer is a person to whom we sell the goods. Sale. I am, say, having a Samsung mobile ka agency. I sell it to you. Then customer. You are my customer. That is customer. If I purchase goods from you, then that is vendor, that is supplier, that is trade payable, that is accounts payable. And again I ask you, so have you understood what I'm telling? Yes ma'am, a person from whom we purchase goods is debtor. Then I'll say, no, not right. Then again I give you example that how you sell a good, how you sell the mask, how you sell the sanitizer, how the vaccines are being sold, and giving you tens and thousands of examples. Then I ask you, have you understood who is the customer? Yes, a person to whom the company sells the good is a customer. I say, thank you so much. Finally you've understood the concept. So let me keep my ruler back. And now no need to rack you. And now no need of the ruler. You understand? So that is what. Now I explain. Okay, a person to whom you sell the goods is a customer. Chalo, let's go ahead. Now I have to check with you. Have you understood what I am trying to tell? If I don't check with you what I have explained to you, what I'm exchanging, what I'm sharing with you, my idea, thoughts, emotion, feeling, information, then the process of communication is never complete. And then the process of communication is never complete. Okay, right? So there is an interpretation. So there is something in my mind, elephant, and I hope it's elephant in your mind also. And if it's trunk in your mind, then there is no the miscommunication. And so interpretation, and then I interpret something and tell it to you. Then what I have said, you try to interpret what I said, and then you communicate it to me by way of a feedback or a reply. Right? So that completes the communication process. Okay. Right, so yes, a good chart to explain the communication process. Okay, right, so the person who initiates the communication process is normally referred to as the sender. From a personal data bank, so what I know, personal data bank, the sender selects ideas, encodes, and finally transmits them to the receiver. So it came to my mind, okay, if I want to show it E to you, then I should do this. And it could come to your mind that if you want to show E, then you could show something like this. And you could show like, this shape you're trying to say. Why this shape? Because say this is the shape of an egg. And an egg again E. So my mind it came for me to show you E, I should show elephant. To your mind it might come that no, to show E, I should show egg. Possible. Right, so selects ideas, encodes, and finally transmits them to the receiver. The entire burden of communication then rests upon the sender or the encoders, and the entire responsibility regarding how I communicate depends on the sender. The choice of images and the words and the combination of the two. And so what images, what words I use to communicate is what compels the receiver to listen carefully. And so if I talk to you, so have you everybody understood what I'm teaching you about communication process? I think if I finish with the first chapter, we will finish with it today, and then we will start with the chapter on the business letter. You'll say, ma'am, what are you saying? I'm not able to hear. You'll check a computer, make a kuch volume has it decreased or something. And whether the volume, why I'm not able to hear? Why ma'am is all of a sudden speaking so slowly? And now if I'm speaking like this to you, that I hope all of you are understanding. And or I say, why are you not sitting straight? Sit straight. Sit straight. Then probably you might have moved into your chair and ensured that you're sitting straight. Right. So combination which compels the receiver to listen carefully. Like, if you see these two neighbor aunts or somebody speaking, she says, oh, you don't know what happened at their home yesterday. So now the full attention of the listener, what happened at their home, most important matter in the world. What happened over there. And then they are saying, oh, your son, he doesn't behave properly. Then you're not interested in listening to that. Then he says, no, I have a lot of work, it's time for my tea now, so I need to have tea. And so what you are saying, how you are saying, and that will matter, and that will decide regarding how carefully the receiver is trying to listen to you to understand what you're trying to say. Okay, right, so sender, encoder, speaker, and then you have the receiver. Now the listener is now faced with the task of decoding the message. So I say apple, you should understand apple, you should not understand banana. And so now the listener is faced with the task of decoding the message. This process is carried on in relation to the work environment and the value perceived in terms of the work situation. Right? If the receiver views the similarity in the goal of the sender, there is a high receptivity. Right? So the manager of the company is telling we should become the number one, we should reach the sales target, we should try to increase the performance of the company. If you are also so motivated as an employee working, you'll say yes, we will achieve the goal of the company, we will become number one. Or you say, I am leaving job in 2 months, I don't bother regarding what happens in your company. So you say you do whatever you want, I'm just doing what I want. So work environment, value received in terms of work situation. If the receiver views a similarity in the goal, So if he says, yes, yes, we'll work together, we'll become number one, similarity in goal. Or he says, I'm to leaving company, you do whatever you want. So there is no similarity in goal at all, right? Of the sender, then there is high receptivity. And then there is high receptivity. Right? See, somebody is explaining you about, why jogging is very good. Okay, now you say, I don't want to do jogging. So you're not going to listen only regarding why and how yogic jogging and how different types of jogging could be done. You're not listening only. Or you're saying, oh yes, now though I'm feeling right now only I should start jogging. So then when you're interested in doing that, interested in trying it, then there is going to be high receptivity. And then the decoding of the message is done in almost entirely the same terms as was intended by the sender. And so the entire magic, the entire miracle has to be worked by the sender. And you can't blame the receiver. You didn't understand, you are not paying attention. You have to, the sender has to ensure how much interest he has created in the communication, how much he has compelled, how much of a high receptivity of the receiver he has ensured. Okay, right. Message is the encoded idea. What a wonderful term. Message is the encoded idea transmitted by the sender. So the idea which I am trying to communicate. And an encoded idea transmitted by the sender. The formulation of the message is very important, for an incorrect patterning can turn the receiver hostile or make him or her lose interest. Right, so very important for you to encode the idea correctly, right? The formulation of the message is very, very important. Okay, right, then the medium, right? So now I know what I have to tell you, but now how do I tell you, right? So either one option I have that I sway my hand and like this I show you, or second I could make the noise of the elephant trumpet. And regarding how the elephant trumpets, I could be making that sound. Right, so another important element is the medium or the channel. Right, it could be oral, written, non-verbal communication. So either I can write it on a piece of paper and show it to you. I draw some elephant and show it to you. Do some action like this, make some sound. Okay, right, prior to the composition of the message, the medium channel should be decided, and each medium has its own set of rules and regulation. Right, so that's the medium which you use to communicate the message. And feedback is the most important component of communication. Clear, it is the most important component of communication. You might be thinking that no, sending the message, and the medium being used for sending the message, what is the message? It says no, feedback. And it's the most important component of communication. Effective communication takes place only when there is feedback. And you feed me back, you tell me again what you have understood. And the errors and flaws that abound in business situation are as a result of the lack of feedback. So why all the problem is happening in communication? Because of the lack of the feedback. If feedback is solicited means asked for, on all occasion, errors in communication can be minimized or even completely done away with. Right, so everybody, have you understood the 5 elements of the communication? So one, you have the sender, encoder, the speaker. Right, then second you have the receiver, the decoder, the listener. Then you have the message to be communicated. Then you have the medium of communication, and most important part is the feedback of the communication. Right, the feedback. Right, so what are these? These are the elements. This is the communication process. Right, so we've seen the, the subject, the syllabus. Right, then we have seen the meaning, the importance of communication, and then also the communication process. Right, next class we will directly start with the discussion on the principles of effective communication. I hope so far you have understood whatever we have discussed. Right, thank you so much.